for showing up today for my ribbon cutting / grand opening for Feathered Press Indie Publisher.
Yay!
So, of course, I was so busy working on QR codes and posters and step and repeat banners that I didn't prepare anything to speak to you, but I'll just tell you about how I started and why this company exists, and hopefully you'll get a sense for who I am and what this company is about. So I started writing and publishing my own books in 2017. The very first book that I wrote was a children's book about the state of California, because that's where I'm originally from. And my children were very interested in learning about the state of California. Mommy, tell us about where we came from. Tell us about Cali. You're always going off about that. Every time California Love comes on, you shush us and turn the radio up really loud. We want to hear about it. So the first book that I wrote was The Land of California for my kids. I published it through a vanity press. And so basically what that means is that I published it in a way that I could create one copy of the book for my children. It wasn't optimally priced or anything like that, but it was my first go-round with securing an illustrator, writing a story, putting pictures to that story, and then compiling everything together into a book. After The Land of California, I caught the bug. I was like, man, that was really fun. I think I want to do that again, but I think I want to publish for a different audience this time. So I wrote another children's book. It was titled A Book for Black Girls. That's the book everybody knows me for, and people all around the world, excuse me, people all around the world will randomly find me on LinkedIn or Instagram or places like that to say, hey, we really love your book. Thank you so much from Ethiopia.
Wow, that's awesome.
Hey, we really love your book. Thank you so much from Chile. Hey, we also really love your book. Thank you so much from Thailand. So that has been particularly special for me because A, that book was sort of my love note to younger Black girls, the young Black girl that I used to be. That's something that I left behind, and getting international exposure through a children's book like that was something that I wasn't used to. It hit me by a storm, you know, it was a surprise to start getting all of that new exposure. But again, I get the bug. I just thought, oh gosh, these books are amazing. I love this. I've got this English degree and I don't want to teach anymore. So then that led me to connecting the dots in 2021. I collaborated with an artist named Aurelio Sanchez. Connecting the Dots is an affirmation book and adult coloring book hybrid. We both created that book together as a tool for people who suffer from anxiety and depression to be able to have something that they could use to help calm themselves down. There's affirmations to read, there's pages to color, and there's even space for them to do their own drawings.
That's great.
Thank you. After Connecting the Dots hit the market, I realized something. Oh my gosh, I have a publishing company. I have a publishing company. I have published a children's book in both hardcover format and paperback format. I have published a nonfiction title, a self-help book, if you will. So I am occupying multiple genres. I've secured the LLC for the imprint to publish these. What am I doing? I need to open my publishing company. Awesome. And so that's how this all started. I published Connecting the Dots November 1st. Feathered Press Indie Publisher had its logo by November 8th. Here's what I want to tell you about this logo. I went to Etsy and I found an artist who could make me a logo that featured a feather. My personal logo actually has a pink feather, so they tie together really nicely. Right before I came here for today's, as I was preparing for today's presentation, I went back to the Etsy shop to ask, you know, can you maybe do another workup of this logo for me? The Etsy shop was gone. So I saw her name and I figured I'll just Google her name and see if she has a website or something, you know, get in touch with her. Hey girl, hey. Googled her, found her LinkedIn profile, and found out that she's from Ukraine. And I wish I had more to tell you, but she's disappeared and that's it. So I figure, well, I will do the best darn thing I can humanly possible and make sure that this logo gets to be seen everywhere, just for the sake of knowing that someone from Ukraine created it. And we know what's going on right now. All of that being said, as far as the motivation behind why Feathered Press exists, obviously I love to write, I love books, but more importantly than putting my own stories out there, I am very interested in empowering the voices of others. So specifically, because I have been able to empower a group of people younger than myself with a book for Black girls, I would really love it if I could help empower somebody else to write a book for Native American girls, or a book for Asian girls, or Asian boys, whomever. A book that highlights children with disabilities, which is actually what I'm trying to do with my upcoming children's book, Selfless, that'll be out this summer. Yes, there are people in the world who have a ton of expertise and they've worked in their fields for years and years. They absolutely have contributions that they can make through a book publication, and I want to help those people as well. If you have a pet project such as a cookbook or a picture book, or you want to write children's books of your own, or you just want to get your autobiography out there already, all of that is welcomed at Feathered Press. We are a full-service indie publisher, and when I say indie, I am subbing that in for self-publishing, but I'm really trying to change the narrative a little bit to get away from self-publishing, because everybody looks at that like, even though 50 Shades of Grey was self-published, as was The Adventures of Peter Rabbit, but there's that. Okay, now I'm just rambling. Hopefully you guys are getting a sense for what I'm about, what my mission is, why I believe in this, especially as we see headlines about books being banned from school districts. And I'm not talking about books that feature pornography or profanity or written by people who are fugitives or who are enemies of the state. Michelle Obama's book is being banned in certain school districts. Not really sure why, but there's that. I've always enjoyed being contrarian and making a lot of noise, so I figured let me go ahead and do this with my little indie publisher and let people know that books have not gone away. Books are here to stay, excuse me, and books are important. If you're not reading, I hope you're listening. That's me. That's me, you guys. That's everything.